Veronica. Thanks for coming in today.
Hi.
I just wanted to discuss confidentiality, and then we can just kind of go into why you're here today.
Okay.
So everything we discuss today will be kept confidential, aside from the following things. If there's a danger to yourself or others, I'm mandated to report that. If there's sexual or physical abuse or neglect of a minor, vulnerable adult, or an elder.
Mm-hmm.
Also, if there's a subpoena, I'm going to have to report some of the things that we might have been discussing.
Mm-hmm.
And lastly, if there's a threat to the life of the President of the United States, I'm also obligated to report that as well.
Okay.
Do you have any questions about that?
No.
Okay, so let's just go ahead and get started.
Okay.
What brings you in today?
Well, I've been having my boyfriend told me that he was going to break up with me. And that's really distressing for me. And it's causing some anxiety. I feel like I can't be without him.
How long have you guys been together?
We've been together about 2 years. I'm a junior at the U. I study dance there. And yeah, we've been together since freshman year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what kind of problems are you guys experiencing in the relationship that kind of made you want to consider coming to counseling?
Well, I have been told in the past, or recommended by several physicians, that I should see a therapist, that I should talk about my emotional issues, and my life is definitely chaos. Like, I just cannot seem to keep my relationships going well. There's always some sort of turbulence going on, and my boyfriend says that he just cannot handle my moods anymore, and I feel like I don't want to lose him. I think that we're probably going to get married, and I want to have kids, and but then I have these days where I am completely opposite of that, and I'm like, screw it, I don't care, I don't even want to be with him anyway, and I'm interested in other guys, and I don't want kids, and then it's like my mood 3 days later is completely different. So it's just really, really, really tiresome.
Yeah, it seems like it's really up and down.
Yeah.
So at what age did you start experiencing some of these problems?
Oh, probably be in my mid-teens. Maybe when I was 16 or so, I started feeling some sadness, and I mean, that's at least when I can really remember that I started feeling like things weren't right.
And did anyone else seem to notice these things or point these problems out to you?
My family, I'm not close with my family, but my parents did say that, I seemed like I was always moping around, and that I should just get over it, and, I should enjoy being young while I can, and so they did, but I mean, I never really, that was it. That was the extent of it.
So you mentioned that you had seen a few physicians and they had recommended counseling or therapy.
Yeah.
Did they ever diagnose you with anything? Or have you ever kind of looked up on the internet in regards to some of the problems that you've been experiencing?
I've never looked on the internet because I think that that's a waste of time, and why would I do that? I'm here. But I know that I've heard, major depression. I've had, issues with eating in the past. I'm a dancer. I mean, you're supposed to be really fit. So there's definitely been some appetite stuff. And so they've tossed around some eating disorder diagnosis, and they've tossed around some personality disorders. But, I don't know much about them. So
okay.
I don't know really if I have a diagnosis or what it is.
So what would you say are some things that you can't do because of the problems that you are currently experiencing or have experienced in the past?
Well, I definitely cannot keep friends that are girls. It just doesn't work, because they're, one way or another, their boyfriends always start liking me. I just can't, I don't know why, I can't help that, and the friendship ends.
So you said that their boyfriends start liking you. Do they tell you that they like you?
There's been times where, I might have kissed one or two, and, they certainly don't say no. But, no, they've never actually come out and told me that they like me.
I see.
I just can see the signs.
Okay. And does this kind of behavior happen while you're in a relationship with someone else?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's happened when I'm in a relationship. It's happened. I think I've actually had a boyfriend since I was like 15 years old. So, yeah. I mean, I've never really been without a guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What are you able to do with great difficulty and discomfort because of these problems? I mean, you can get through your day, but it's just kind of uncomfortable knowing that you're gonna have to deal with some of these problems.
What do I do?
Like as far as school, do you experience any problems with school? You mentioned you're studying dance.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. There's some hard things with some of the other girls. You know, we're pretty competitive, so there's been some verbal fights and threats to each other over roles we might get, or, you know, being the best dancer. And, you know, I've been doing this since I was a little kid, so I've definitely got that competitive spirit. But I don't know, I mean, there's been some girls in my class, and like I said, I've hung out with them a couple times. I've tried to be friends, but I've actually kissed all their boyfriends, so they don't really like me anymore.
Yeah, I can see that would be a little problematic.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you had a boyfriend since the age of about 15.
Mm-hmm.
Has there ever been a time that you haven't experienced some of these problems? Have you ever been free from any of these problems?
I mean, my childhood, I remember it being fine, and then my parents got divorced at some point. I think I was like 13, and I kind of started to detach a little bit from them then.
Okay.
But, you know, there's some push from my mom to be really heavy into dance, and then my dad doesn't agree with it so much. So there's one telling me one thing, another telling me another, and then there's me trying to figure out how to go about that. So maybe as a young kid, didn't really experience issues, but I got old enough to realize that things weren't perfect.
So, I mean, along with the interpersonal relationships, are there certain circumstances or situations that make these problems worse? Do you use any drugs or partake in alcohol use or anything like that?
Definitely drink, yeah. Yep,
Okay.
I love to drink. Drugs, you know, I've had some experiences with drugs, but it's really difficult to be a dancer and be high, so, or even have the after effects, so I don't do that, but I do drink, yeah. I go to parties on the weekends.
And how does that seem to factor in? Does it make things more difficult, or, I mean, do you use that as an escape or a coping mechanism?
I like to do it, and I feel like at the time, you know, I don't have to feel anything, so I think it's great, but I've been told that I do things that are a little bit risky, and I've driven when I've been drinking, and I'm lucky that I, didn't get pulled over, but I've done that. I've, run around naked. That's when I tend to hit on guys left and right, and, if my boyfriend shows up, there's often fights with the other guys, and so, I mean, I guess I'd be stupid to say that it's not causing problems when I'm drinking, but I enjoy it too much. I don't want to stop.
So how often do you drink? How many drinks would you say you have at one time when you do drink?
Definitely drink every Friday and Saturday, and I probably like 15 to 20 drinks over the course of the weekend.
Okay, so between both days, Friday and Saturday, you have about 15 to 20 drinks?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you find any times where these problems or any certain circumstances that make you feel better, that kind of alleviate some of the stress in your life?
Cutting. Yeah, cutting. Definitely. When I have like a moment where I'm just screaming and crying and I'm by myself and I'm throwing shit at the walls, I cut sometimes. And actually I have an infection on my arm because most recently I used my boyfriend's cleat to cut my wrist. I'm pretty sure that's where I got the infection.
That sounds pretty painful. Have you been to the doctor and had that treated?
I'm on antibiotics.
Okay. So how often do you cut?
A couple times a week.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's better than purging, so I just cut.
Okay. So what is it that you're trying to get out of cutting? What does that give you?
Release, I guess. Some sort of like a something that, other people don't see. I don't want other people to think that I'm not doing well. So I just do it to get out some of the pain I'm going through and then be able to smile on the outside.
Okay. And you said you participate in this kind of behavior a couple times a week?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
How long have you been doing this?
Oh, since I was younger, maybe 13, 14.
Okay, so maybe around the time that your parents got divorced?
Yeah.
Okay, I see. Are you employed right now?
No.
Okay, so just a full-time student?
Yep.
Okay. So we've mentioned, your relationships, and are you able to attend all your classes and keep up with homework, or is that being affected by some of the stress you experience as well?
I think I would say it's probably deteriorating over the course of the year. I'm so, focused on the fact that my boyfriend now he's telling me he can't handle my moods, and I can't be without him, and now there's all these other girls that are jealous of me, and this is starting to become all my life.
Okay.
It's hard to focus on school.
So it seems to be pretty consuming.
Yeah, it's exhausting.
And so we kind of discussed that you've been to physicians, and you said that you've never been to therapy before?
I've been to see a therapist when my brother died.
Oh, okay.
But that was really the last time.
How long ago was that?
That was when I was 18.
Okay. So fairly recently, within the past 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Okay, wow. Did you find it to be helpful at all?
No.
How long were you seeing that therapist for?
Just for a couple weeks.
Oh, okay.
Maybe like 3 weeks. No, maybe 6 weeks, something like that. I don't know. Not very long. It was as a family.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, how does dance kind of fall into your life? It seems like it was kind of pushed on you by your mother. In the beginning, you were the drive to be competitive. Do you find that to be therapeutic at all? Do you find that to be a way of releasing any of that stress? Or an effective outlet for you?
I think so. Yeah, I mean, I spent a lot of my day, rehearsing. And so I'm not really able to think about other things, but now it's getting worse, or the distractions are getting worse, so things will be popping in while I'm dancing, whereas it used to not. I could just focus on what I was doing. Now I'm thinking about my boyfriend, or then what I'll do if I'm without him, and then I just feel agony, and I don't know, I guess I can kind of put that into dancing, but it's not working as well as it used to.
Okay.
And then, I'm drinking more, and I don't want to give that up, but it's hard.
So if I treat you, how will you know that you're better? Like, what kind of goals do you wish to get out of therapy?
I would like to not, I know cutting isn't healthy, so I would really like to stop doing that. And I don't know, I mean, I just got 3 speeding tickets this week because I just didn't care, and I got in my car and I ran some reds, and speeding on the freeway, and I don't know if part of that is because I just don't really care, or I don't know, it's like I just get up and go, and I'd like to be able to control that. I don't know, I can't afford tickets. I don't want something worse to happen, but...
Absolutely. So when you're running these red lights, are you trying to hurt yourself? Do you have plans on hurting yourself or killing yourself?
Oh, no, I mean, most recently I had actually posted on Facebook that I was overdosing, but I'd taken a bunch of pills. My boyfriend saw it. He ran over, but in fact I was completely drunk and naked by myself, just running around my apartment, and so no, I mean, I've put out the threats.
Okay.
Just to get attention, really. And I know that it's for attention.
So you don't have necessarily suicidal thoughts per se. You don't have a plan to kill yourself.
No.
Okay. Have you ever been homicidal towards others?
Never.
Okay. Have you ever been hospitalized in the past?
No.
Have you ever been, has your family ever suggested inpatient treatment?
When I was younger, there was a point when I was pretty thin, and yeah, I mean, my parents, they kind of wanted to put me in an inpatient treatment for that and just some of my emotional outbursts, but we never did. So.
Okay. So overall, what would you say your mood is like on a daily basis? Would you say that you're suffering from any kind of depression, any feelings of shame or guilt or helplessness, anything like that?
You know, I don't know. I think I feel a little hopeless because, I mean, I'm going to be like this for the rest of my life, right? Like, it's just, this is who I am, and I'm going to constantly be turbulent and emotional and crying all the time, you know. I don't know.
Well, the good thing about therapy is I feel like you'll be able to find some relief. I don't think that you have to feel that way. So there is hope. That's the great thing about therapy, and that's what I hope that you get out of therapy. Are you currently on any medication?
No, nothing.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think that's good. I think it's a good idea that you came to therapy to kind of sort some of this stuff out. How was your sleep overall?
I would say that over the past week, I definitely feel like I don't need to sleep as much as I used to. Maybe can run on 5 hours, where I used to be like a consistent, 8-hour schedule. So I feel fine, like I'm rested, but I used to sleep so much more. So I don't know.
Okay, are you able to get as much done in a day as you would like to?
Yeah, I think so. The only thing I really have going now is, dance and spending as much time with my boyfriend as I can.
So how do you feel about kind of doing things on your own separate from your boyfriend?
Oh, it's scary.
Why is it
I
scary?
don't want to do that.
What about it is so scary?
I've always had a boyfriend, like I said. I mean, I've always had a guy around, and I feel like I don't know what to do by myself. I just kind of sit there and feel like I might even cry if I'm by myself. Because I feel so lonely.
Okay,
It terrifies me.
So it's just the thought of being alone.
I guess, yeah.
Okay, and so just sitting with yourself, would you say you are comfortable with who you are?
No.
What is it about yourself that if you could change, you would change?
I think I would want to have relationships with people that are healthy.
And what does a healthy relationship mean to you?
Not this jealousy stuff and not this petty, your boyfriend likes me, my boyfriend likes you. Just some real relationships. And I also want, my boyfriend to tolerate my moods, and certainly don't want him to go away.
Right. So I think maybe what you're saying is establishing a solid support system.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
All right, Veronica. Well, I think that's a good stopping point. I think next week we can kind of come back and revisit some of these issues and discuss possible treatment goals.
Okay.
And other than that, I will talk to you soon, and I'll be in touch. I hope you have a great week.
Thank you.